Hello and welcome back. This is Board Crazy on the News for the second half of July 2017. I'm D.
I'm Graham.
And I'm Will, the man in charge of the news.
Newsmaster Will.
Hello.
What's up, Will?
All right, guys. You guys want to just get right into this?
I don't see why not. People are here to see the news.
I have an inquiry for you both. Have either of you guys seen any interesting news in board gaming over the last few weeks that I might have missed out on?
No.
All right, then. Of course not, because I'm the news
You're
master.
the news master. You couldn't have missed anything good.
Starting it off, boys, for the 17th of July. Guys,
Yeah?
Letters from Whitechapel has a sequel, a true sequel.
Does that mean Jack's back?
Jack is back. Yes. Whether or not that's a good thing will be how much
It's
you
a
like
great thing.
serial killers
No,
murdering
great.
women.
Yeah.
It is in the board game sense. In real life, it would not be a good thing.
Be a good thing. We sure?
Yes.
No, wait.
Well-
I'm getting confused now.
Yeah, hard to say.
From an official release on their site, Fantasy Flight Games has detailed a lot of the information in regards to their new game, Whitehall Mystery, with the subtitle, Another Murder in the Shadow of Jack.
The shadow of Jack. So it's not actually Jack.
They don't know. That's the thing. Because it happens I think 8 years or something after the initial set of murders. On October 2nd, 1888, the severed torso of a woman is found during the construction of the new Metropolitan Police headquarters near Whitehall.
Oh, yeah?
Hence Whitehall Mystery.
Yeah, obviously.
The press questioned the police as to whether or not the crime is once again the work of the macabre murderer Jack the Ripper, and Sergeant Arthur Ferris organizes an investigative team to scour Whitehall district for clues.
I see they got Aberline off that case.
Yeah, Aberline's gone. Tusk or Lusk, I mean.
Can't blame him.
Probably they're a better choice.
Yeah.
So basically, guys, there's this lady. She gets chopped up into pieces, and it'll be our job as the players to stop the killer.
So is it
again.
same kind of gameplay scenario where one person is Jack and the other people...
Not Jack.
Correct.
Not Jack and try to find them?
Actually, no, you do play as Jack in the game.
Oh, you are?
Like in their description, they say one player plays as Jack, as the other people play as the detective.
So they're assuming... Wait, was it
The
known
mystery
that
has been solved.
They can't be sure it was Jack the Ripper, though. I thought you said they weren't sure.
They weren't sure in real. I think this is real. I probably should look that up, but I think this is a real case because I'm pretty sure I've heard of this before. And the first game was based on a real case, so I think it's safe to presume that this was a real case as well. But
Although, Letters from Whitechapel, good game. In fact, you can see us playing it on this very channel in like a week or so.
yes,
Yeah.
and it'll be Follow Up the Grizzled, which will come out tomorrow.
Spoilers, by the way, in case you didn't want to know.
Well, I mean, we said it the last. So it's the same type of game where you're gonna have a board, and there'll be numbers around the board, and then there are crossroads, and numbers. Jack moves on the numbers. Police move on the crossroads.
How's it different, Will?
Guys, the detectives have abilities this time. For instance, the good doctor, Dr. Thomas Bond, who was one of the members of the team of investigators. He can use the alley token.
Oh, I don't like that at all.
Once per game, he can hop through an alley to try to get in the way of the Ripper. However, if he does so, he may not execute an arrest or look for clues on his turn. It's simply about getting into better position for that person's next turn.
Okay.
The Honorable Sergeant, Arthur Ferris, his special ability allows him to use a boat movement once per game as well as a normal
That's
movement.
new.
The River Thames, you're allowed to navigate it in this
That's
game.
awesome. Cool.
Yeah, so it's for Jack, it'd be like a fast track to get to where he needs to go, and for the detectives,
Nice.
Yeah.
at least for the sergeant, yeah.
Let's not read all the new things.
Well, I wanted to say one last one that was cool.
All right, fine.
There's a character named Jasper T.C. Waring. He's a journalist, but he also has a dog named Smoker. And it's an optional, you don't have to use Smoker in the game, but if you choose to, he can, he allows his owner to either move one additional crossing per turn, or look for clues in every adjacent numbered circle, even if he's already found a clue once a game.
That's cool.
So yeah, that's really interesting because in the original game, you could only if you found a clue, that detective was done.
It's interesting. So it seems like they're giving more powers to the detectives, although I feel like the detectives kind of have an advantage in, at least from what we've seen when we played it. We played it, what, now 3 or 4 times?
Yeah, it's hard for Jack to
It is hard.
It's not impossible, mind you.
But
difficult, yeah. Well, maybe Jack will have new powers. I guess we'll have to wait and see.
I believe he does. I mean, they imply that everyone has additional movement abilities that allow them to move quicker. And it sounds like in this game, it's less about finding Jack and more about cutting him off and preventing him from getting to the next clue. It sounds like. So instead of trying to get back to his hideout, he's trying to get to the next body part to leave it.
Oh.
For the investigative team.
Okay.
And the investigative team is trying to figure out where that will be and cut that area off. And if he can't get to it in a certain amount of moves, the game ends and the detectives win.
That sounds neat. Yes. Interested in that. When's it coming out, Will? Any word on that? Yeah,
the game will be released in Q3 2017. So within the next few months.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's really seemed nice.
You're interested in that, we'll have a link to this article in the description, I assume.
Yeah, and if you like Letters from Whitechapel, I recommend reading it, and it just looks really cool.
Yeah. What's the next story?
The next story, guys. Germany's Game of the Year awards have been announced. The Spiel des Jahres.
Spiel des Jahres,
as the Germans like to call it.
Yeah, those are the big ones.
Because they couldn't speak English for some reason.
Interesting language. Was that French?
Yeah, it's French.
It's French. And the big winner, the Game of the Year, is King Domino, by none other than Bruno Cathala, who also co-designed Yamatai, a game that we liked very much.
Yes. It's maybe my favorite game of this year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's on a roll right now, it sounds like.
Yeah.
King Domino.
Yeah, King Domino. It's an easy-to-learn tile placement game for 2 to 4 players.
So, who published King Domino?
King Domino was published by Blue Orange Games in the United States and Blue Orange Games EU in Europe. I know, weird, right? The EU would...
I'm not too familiar. What other games have they done?
I mean, off the top of my head, I wouldn't know, but I actually have a list up here.
How convenient.
New York, 1901, Spot It, The Boss, Battle Sheep. It's a good name.
Like Battleship?
But I think King Domino is their first big
sounds
hit,
like it.
based on the fact that, I mean... You guys have a bit more knowledge than I do, but I haven't heard of any of these games.
Well, good for them.
Cool.
Maybe we'll play that.
Yeah, I want to.
It's a relatively affordable game. I've seen it on most board game sites and Amazon for under $20. So it's definitely something, because it's designed to be a smaller, 15 to 30 minute game that you can play.
And what's the gist of the game? Can you give us the...
Well, each player has a kingdom, and they lay down tiles in a 5x5 grid. And basically, the tiles determine how many points you accumulate. So by the end of the game, when everyone adds up their numbers in their kingdom, people with the most victory points wins. I know that the game has a mechanic where you see the tiles ahead of time for the round for all the players, and the person who chooses the weakest tile gets the highest initiative in the next round.
Similar to Yamatai.
Yeah.
Sounds like role player a little bit, too.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's a simple game with an elegant design.
Cool.
Well, all right then.
We have to add that to the collection.
Yes.
Anything else?
Yeah, and I just wanted to mention that...
Spiel des Jahres.
Do you guys know about the escape room games that kind of came out last year? There's
escape room board games.
Yeah. Well, the most famous ones, or at least the ones that got the most praise, are the Exit series. Exit the Game is the name of the series. And it won this year's, I believe they call it the Kennerspiel.
Yes.
Kennerspiel des Jahres. Basically, it's Germany's way of saying expert game or game with a little bit more nuance. Usually, the game of the year is the game they give to something that's a little more
knowledge,
family-ish. Yes. Yeah, easy. This is more of a game that takes some, cooperation and thinking, strategy and stuff.
Hardcore drug use involved.
Yeah.
And who published that?
Profanity.
Exit the Game was published by Cosmos, or Cosmos Games.
Oh, okay.
And Exit the Game is interesting because it's a one and done. It's a 60-minute adventure. The shorter you do it, the more points you get. At the end of the day, that doesn't matter because you're only playing once. But yeah, there's stuff that you can tear up and move around, and there's puzzles. It really feels like a small escape room that you can play in your living room. But you also, I think there are 3 or 4 different ones. The Abandoned Cabin is one. I think Pharaoh's Tomb is another one. So
I'd like to do an actual escape room. Have either of you done?
No, I haven't. I've heard good things.
Yep.
Yeah, they're neat if done well. Yeah. I'd be curious to play one of these, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of value proposition it is, but what they cost. But
They're like 15-ish is usually what I
that's
see them
not
for.
bad.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah.
Now it's these escape room games are typically a once and done though.
Yeah,
Once you solve it,
Once
it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says on the box like you can play this once.
That's the
the rub.
but yeah. For $15, is it worth it? I don't know. It's up for
The Germans think it's the best game of the year. If it's
up for debate.
It's
It's
a
up,
type, so.
it's up to
They
everyone
think
else
it's
to
the best
decide.
expert game of the year, not the best game of the year. That goes to King Domino. We here at Board Crazy want to congratulate King Domino, Exit the Game, the people who made them, and the people who made the games that won in the other categories that we didn't really have a chance to talk about here. But yeah, I mean, I'm jealous. Hopefully one day we can make a game that gets on the Game of the Year. At least a nomination. That'd be cool.
Sure, yeah, that'd be weird.
Got a great game. It's called Chess.
Ooh,
Yeah.
tell me more.
I heard about this chess. I think it already exists, but I mean, I'm
sure it's unique.
I'm rooting for you, Graham.
Okay.
I'm really rooting
I
for
think
you.
it's a new thing Graham has just thought up.
Guys, Geek Chic. Remember we talked about them last time?
Yeah.
Got news?
Things were not going well for them.
No, the last time, news video, if you watched it or read our news column from a couple weeks ago.
And why haven't you?
Right, D. Thanks for having my back.
Yes.
They were a tabletop gaming furniture company. Became well known initially when they went on Shark Tank and got an investment.
Who'd they get the investment from?
They got it from Robert Herjavec.
Let's not talk about Shark Tank.
Well, I was
time.
curious.
It's actually, I know this one is Robert Herjavec gave him the investment.
Guild.
They ended up not coming to an agreement after the show.
Creepy
but
Bob.
On the show itself, that's how it went down. Regardless, they've been around for a couple of years. They had some, I guess, an okay run considering they got a lot of investments. But it turns out now that, I mean, they went bankrupt last time we checked, and now we have an update, and it turns out they owe $7.5 million in liabilities.
That's nothing. They should be able to cover that, right?
Yeah.
Including-
Who doesn't have a spare $7.5 million?
Yeah.
One of the investors alone is owed $4.4 million. Imagine being that guy.
Jeez.
But he might
is
get
upset.
it. Yeah, he might get it back. The
How?
Geek Cheeks Chapter 7 filing, which is public knowledge, shows that the company's total liquid assets as of today is just over $13,000.
Oh, well.
So they can pay off their debts.
No problem.
Yeah. Just buy a lot of lottery tickets.
yeah, that sounds... Boy, that did not end well.
I think it's safe to say that dude's not getting his money back.
No, I don't think so. I mean, he could probably sue for it, but he's still not going to get it.
Wow.
Do you guys know who Patrick Rothfuss is?
Yes.
Who is that?
He's a fantasy writer who also is really well known for being. He does. He's part of Acquisitions Inc. with isn't Chris Perkins part of that? And
I don't know right now.
regardless, he's a big D&D-er fantasy writer. You know, he's just well known within the geek scene. Mm-hmm. You'll know him. You'll meet
I know the name. I'm
You'll meet
blanking
him.
on.
You'll meet him.
I'll meet him. I'll meet him.
Well, regardless, he is owed $750,000. So I guess he had 10% equity in the company. That's
Sucks.
not good for him. I imagine he can afford it.
I mean, if he could invest that much in the first place,
Yeah,
probably.
I would hope he wouldn't
so.
invest something that he can't afford to lose.
Yeah, but these...
And isn't that like investment rule number one?
Yeah.
No, I guarantee you, he's feeling this. It's not gonna ruin
Oh,
it.
no,
but
no,
750,
it's not
he's
chump
noticing.
change. But still, it's the problem with companies where you're offering luxury items like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's...
Luxury items for a very specific niche.
Yes.
That half of which have the money, half of which don't, and even the half that does probably is not going to pay, $5 to $10 grand for a table.
Yeah, it's a great idea, and the tables are fantastic if you actually go and look at them. They're great products, but that doesn't mean they're going to sell well.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate.
Yeah, a lot of these furniture
I feel
companies
bad for them. I really
have.
it sucks. I wish they had more success.
It does suck. I was going to say, a lot of these furniture companies usually have back orders.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Geek Chic can fulfill some of their back orders, get a little bit of money, but I don't think it's going to be anything near the money that they owe, obviously.
What's next, Will? How about some good news for a change?
guys, here's some good news. There's a Planet of the Apes board game on its way.
Well, as someone who's never watched an entire Planet of the Apes movie, I'm excited. Go on. Inform me.
Guys, IDW Gaming, or Games, is publishing a Planet of the Apes board game that's been designed by Richard Launius, who's best known as the mind behind the original Arkham Horror board game, which is still being reprinted to this day. Yes.
Nice, yep, cool.
The most intriguing aspect of its gameplay is that every player gets to control one aspect of Colonel George Taylor's psyche. George Taylor being Charlton Heston's character from the original series.
So it's based off the original series,
yes,
not the newer series.
Yeah, I even point out in my column that it seemed like a missed opportunity, kind of, or at least it's a bold decision to go and do it on the old
decision.
Ones. Yeah,
you know,
it would have been safer to definitely go and base some newer ones and have like Andy Serkis and Jason Clarke.
What? Yeah. I don't understand anything you're saying right now.
Guys, regardless, it's set during the original trilogy.
So like, what kind of, like psyche?
That is, yeah,
what do
so
you mean,
that's
like,
cool.
Like
how does that
like
mechanic work?
Well, they didn't go into detail in the story that was reported, and this is not on me.
Give everything away.
It's on you.
The site birthdeathmovies.com, which is where I initially saw the story. Here, this is what they have here, so I'm quoting them. Designed by Richard Launius, the creator of Arkham Horror, Planet of the Apes puts 1 to 4 players on a crash course with feral foes, deadly environments, and unbridled psychological horror in an innovative, how do you guys say it?
Innovative, of course.
An innovative twist on the cooperative board game genre. Each player takes control of one aspect of Colonel George Taylor's psyche and must work together to survive the Planet of the Apes.
That's all they say?
Yes. So I guess if it was us 3 playing, D would control maybe his lust. You would control his lust, and I would probably control
his lust.
His lust. So we would all just be banging everything. No,
banging sexy ape chicks. What's up?
I don't know exactly how it works. I imagine someone controls like maybe like a morality, or someone's more like instinctive,
like his fear.
Yeah, fear.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I'd like to hear more about that mechanic because it seems interesting.
Yeah, it sounds different.
It'd be cool if there was like, there's always one player who's working against the other two in a way. Like one player is fear, and they're trying to make the other players to like make their decisions based on that, while the other ones are making their decisions based on like reason.
Is the game? How is it being? Is it like Kickstarter, or is it?
No, it's not going to be Kickstarted. The game will launch in October 2017 for $60 of this year.
How's the playtime on this one?
It looks like it says 60 to 90 minutes.
60, that's not bad. That's all right.
On the board.
It's about 3 hours for us.
Yeah. Maybe 4.
Maybe 5.
All right. 1 to 4 players.
Yeah, we said that already.
I did?
Yes.
Okay.
Will.
Yes.
Is there more news?
Last but not least. Again, this is an update from last time's last news video. We talked about a Song of Ice and Fire tabletop miniatures game.
Sure.
The CMON one?
The one from CMON, Eric M. Lang, a co-designer.
Nice. Cool.
And then we talked about how it was about to be coming to Kickstarter, and it was like a preview of that.
Yeah.
Well, now it's on Kickstarter, and it has been for almost a week. I would say. I think it started on Tuesday, the 25th of July.
Okay.
Let me guess. It's already raised $4 billion.
No.
No?
Yes, I'm surprised as well, but no. I mean, I guess you could say unsurprisingly, it has raised over twice its initial pledge goal of $300,000.
Fair enough.
Okay. So $800,000.
Well, close. They're closing in on that. At the time when I wrote the article, it was at $756,000. Now it's at $759,508.
Your article's obsolete, Will.
Oh, I can go back and fix that.
Well, yeah, so how much longer is it on Kickstarter?
16 more days.
Oh my gosh, it's going to raise so much.
It's going to hit well over $1 million.
It's always going to. That's not a surprise.
Yep. I'm not too far off with the $4 billion.
Yeah, probably be around $4 billion when they're done.
Yeah.
To catch people up, it's a miniatures game. It's pitting the Starks against the Lannisters. I imagine there will be plenty of expansions that will add.
Yeah, it's like a starter pack, it sounds like. So.
That'll add houses, and I think it's definitely supposed to be like a war game, a miniatures war game, sort of like Warhammer, but a lot more accessible and probably a lot less expensive. So
Cool.
Hope so.
the game is going according to the Kickstarter. They want to start shipping to backers in April of 2018. So it'll be a while until we know whether or not the investments were worth it or not.
That's usually how Kickstarter games go.
No, there's good reputations involved in
Yeah,
that.
there's no way this is a bust.
should
With
be-
Simon
should be
and
pretty
Eric
solid,
and Lang
at least.
doing it, it's...
Well, I mean, Simon makes a lot of games, some that are not so great.
I know, but with Eric and
Lang,
Lang, you know, Simon has a lot of money and resources to...
yeah, their build quality is always
back up.
exceptional.
Yeah, and there's no way this is a home run. It's gonna be.
Maybe. Probably.
Are you guys gonna back it?
No.
I'm not gonna back it, but trust me,
Sorry,
it doesn't
guys.
need our help.
Yeah.
Thing is, the theme is starting to be
A little played out.
Yeah, overdone. Naturally, I guess, because Game of Thrones is just massive right now, so it's naturally gonna draw a lot of attention from everywhere. Video game industry, board gaming industry.
But yeah,
insane,
and also the show's coming to an end, and I think you can see a lot of people are like, all right, how can we stretch this out?
Exactly.
Get the most money out of it before it comes to an end.
Maybe they could write another book.
And then
Maybe some more books.
did I see something recently about George wanting to release it by 2018?
He said he said at least one of the books will release in 2018, which implies
doubt
he
it.
might get both
Which means-
of the final two out.
Means it's not going to be released until 2020.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
how long's he been saying stuff like that? Who
But
cares?
what was it between Feast for Crows and A Dance with Dragons? He was like, it's going to be out next year, and then like 4 years later, it still hadn't come out.
I think it was. Yeah, I think it was. It was about 5 years between those two books, and
It was much longer
Between
5
Storm and
6.
Feast.
But oh well.
there's no more news stories to talk about. That's all that happened in the board gaming industry.
I would say that the second half of July wasn't that heavy on essential board game news, but the stories that were there were really big hitters, like this Game of the Year, and the Planet of the Apes game is a pretty big deal.
that is cool. That one sounds interesting.
Well.
So
Yeah, keep watching. Keep your eyes peeled here. You can check out, like we said, our Letters from Whitechapel video will be out on next Wednesday. We have The Grizzled coming up this Wednesday, as well as our reviews, of course. Check out our Kickstarter stuff. We did one of those pretty recently. So that's
We wrote stuff about Kickstarter. We don't have anything on Kickstarter.
no, yeah, he meant our Kickstarter spotlight preview top three games on Kickstarter.
If you can
according
find
to
us on Kickstarter,
Tell us.
give us some money. Go ahead. BoardCrazyGames.com. That's the website.
And the links, especially to social media, will be in the description below.
Well,
All right, guys. Well, I want to thank you for coming on and indulging my my news itch. Itching my news
you
itch.
should probably get that treated.
Yeah, I know. It's getting really red.
Like an ointment for that.
It's like almost purple now.
Ew. All right. Okay, Will. I think we're in.
I'm gonna karate
We're
chop
done.
him.
Okay, good. Go ahead. Oh my God.
Killed him. I didn't even touch him. I just.
Table broke. I'm more concerned about that. Anyway, until next time, that was Will. That's Graham. I'm D. And we'll see ya. Bye.